On this episode of the Layover Live, Grant stops by to talk the pros and cons of blanket marketing.
Well, Jason, for only $19.95, we actually have 100 blankets left that you can purchase
Grant,
today.
Grant, not that kind of blanket marketing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 91 of the Layover Live, where we bring you the top article from the layover each week. I'm Jason Swick, VP of Digital Marketing, joined by a strategic analyst, once again, Grant Stoltz. So, Grant, thanks for trying to sell everybody blankets out there. That's great.
Well, we talked about blanket marketing, so...
Yeah, not literally, but figuratively, right? Mm-hmm. So what we're talking about today is an article that comes from Marketing Land, talks about really, do we really need to be everywhere to everyone? And it's something that comes up a lot, right? When we think about all the different channels of marketing, all the different places that we can place media, and trying to cast that net as wide as possible. We don't always need to think of it that way, right? There's actually some trends in some verticals and with some marketing agencies where actually less content is more because we're not spreading ourselves too thin. But let's talk about it as it relates to being everywhere. And this article talks about trying to be everywhere. So when is it, what are some of the reasons, and maybe Stoltz, to not be everywhere with your marketing?
Yeah, it gives some good examples there where some interesting stats from across the internet, more specifically around blog posts. There's a BuzzSumo stat there where they took over 1 million blog posts and over 90% of them had not been shared more than 8 times.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are
spending a lot of effort for a little result.
Exactly. They're spending a lot of time, a lot of energy into writing these blog posts, but then getting not quite the same amount of exposure if they would invested in other areas. So that's kind of what they're cautioning against. Same thing with branded apps too as well, that not a lot of branded apps have many downloads. People would rather use a website. So a lot of people spend time and money and then people don't use it. So it's more cautioning against using money and effort in the wrong areas versus the right areas to gain more marketing exposure and really make more of an imprint on your audience rather than some of these smaller activities that eventually add up over time.
Yeah, so a good point. So with that then in mind, Grant, what does the article then suggest doing?
Yeah, so it's an interesting take because a lot of times, we've seen articles where it's, write content and post your social media channels and do all these things traditionally that are good marketing practices. And I think we should go on record here by saying all the things mentioned previously, apps, website, social media, everything along those lines, that's all very important.
Yeah, it's still good things, right?
Exactly. It's nowhere in the article to say, don't do this. But what it really is looking at is these critical points along the customer's journey that exhibit more of a reaction from the consumer, more shares, some of these viral moments, if you will. Now, making a viral moment seems to be, something you have to do in a laboratory, but really it's focusing on kind of where's the consumer and their attention focused, and what content and what media can you place there that will exhibit a reaction from them. Okay. I think that's the key point there, is thinking about the consumer, what they want, and also more likely to what they'll actually share, rather than just small little pieces that are kind of vanilla. Let's make one larger piece that is really exciting and enthralling that people will actively want to send out from their own personal channels too as well.
Yeah, that all sounds great. So tactically speaking then, Grant, on that side of the fence, how can marketers choose where and when to place their marketing?
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think Google has a good model where they call this the hub hero hygiene.
Yep.
We've heard about this before.
3 H's, right?
Exactly. So what it really comes down to is that a lot of your content, such as the hero pieces, they're at the top of the pyramid. They are the small, the once a year, twice a year maybe pieces, which again will be those pieces most likely that your
flagship stuff.
Yeah, your marketing will concentrate around, where shares will come from, where engagement really will shine. But at the same time, they have the whole model of the hygiene approach, where these are these daily social media posts, these blog posts. So even though you're not necessarily wowing the consumer in those moments, you're still able to provide them the value that they're looking for. If they're looking for, information about a destination, for example, it doesn't have to be this miraculous multimedia masterpiece. It could simply be a blog post of the top things to do this weekend. So there's kind of different ways to go about it, but I think this article has a good point of not necessarily ignoring those big points, still have those, still go for them, but also still, I think, maintain your base is a good happy medium between the two.
It makes sense that you've got the hero stuff at the top, hygiene stuff, then your hub stuff in the middle is those key pieces that help support the hero and help deliver that micro content down to the hygiene level. Yeah, so really, really good stuff. At the end of the day, really it comes down to with this not being everywhere for everyone approach, or should we do more content or less content? We shouldn't be creating content for the sake of creating content,
Correct.
right? So that, we talk a lot about content velocity, which is important if the content is good and it's delivering to the end user what they are looking for. Otherwise, you're just spinning your wheels and wasting time. So
Exactly.
Grant, thanks for sharing. Thanks for tuning in each and every week. If you're not subscribed now, please do so you can get notifications of when we're available. We'd love to share this great content with you each and every week. If you'd like to consume things through audio, please check us out on Spotify and through iTunes podcasts as well. Thanks for tuning in each and every week. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.